Hi, everyone. Growing up in Hawaii has returned so many great memories. Using words like aloha and paradise, all those words were said and meant rather than just used as a tourist destination attraction or slogan. Somehow the sun was always brighter back then. All our elders were uncles and aunties out of respect for them. The beach, well, the beach was just a bike ride away. And family, well, back then family was everything. My name is Chuck Adams, and I grew up at a time in Hawaii just like this. Growing up, I always remember being involved in sports. Year round, my parents kept me busy. Needless to say, me and my dad were super close. But one of my fondest memories, ironically, has nothing to do with sports. It actually involves a chessboard. Chess was played a lot in our household, and although I have nothing to brag about on my abilities, my dad, he was pretty good. And he plays to this very day, every single day. But the memory involves watching my dad and my uncles play the game. I would hang out with them and I would try to watch, learn their moves and their strategies. My dad would try to teach me. And although I never became that grand master that I aspired to be, I did learn a bit more on who these different pieces were, what they were, what their functions were, what their different personalities were on the board. Now, take the pawns, for example. The pawns, there's eight of them, and they all have so many different personalities, the pawns. They're risky, very risky at the players in the game, always going forward and the first ones out there. They're hardworking protectors of our king and queen, and they're always willing to sacrifice themselves to protect the king and queen. I look back at myself and back in time, and I can see the pawn in myself. I was always the hard worker, always that protector and provider over my family, always willing to sacrifice for them if I needed to. I do anything short of illegal and unethical if it meant even if it meant sacrificing myself to protect them. Now, my knights and my bishops, well, these are my most favorite pieces. Each were very sneaky in their own way. My bishop was very direct. He handles everything direct, but he does it in a way of an angle. He sees things from angles, never missing anything. And my knight is the one that can overcome anything, and normally he does overcome everything at a time and in a way that people least expect it. Now, you put these two together, and that's what I liked about them the most because these two do great as a team. The bishop is the one that goes out and sets up the play. And the sneaky thing about this knight is he'll always come around and he finishes the play, taking out the opponent. As I matured in the police department and I matured throughout church leadership, I always learned the importance of teamwork. And more so now as being a team player. I always see the benefits when we see the success through our ministries, when we see teamwork at its best. My queen, she's the strongest on my board, at least I think so. The most confident and a multitasker. She can do anything and handle it all. But she is just as important as the king, maybe second to the king. And therefore, she must always weigh on the side of caution. She's a very cautious piece. God has given me the talent to be a great multitasker, confident in all that I do. But more importantly, He has given me that ability to be cautious in all that I do. And it's because of that that it's helped me to make decisions and keep me and my family out of harm's way and to make smart decisions, keep them provided for. And finally, I couldn't finish up without this. I couldn't finish without talking about my king. On the board, he's the most useless and laziest, but he's the most important. Well, he's the king, right? Yes, there are a few functions that a king has, but in the end, he's the most useless and the laziest. He does just about nothing. The rest of the pieces, their sole purpose is to protect my king. Now, I've worked over 30 years, and there's times when I think that I've earned the right to say that I'm the king of my castle, that I can be lazy and good for nothing if I want to be. Unfortunately, my queen here in my home, she always reels me back into reality and reminds me of who I am and what needs to be done around here. And that's it, friends. That's me and my life in the chess game perspective. Who I am and God fulfilling his purpose in me. Folks, I'm Chuck Adams, and this is who God created me to be. Aloha, everyone.